Hey everybody, welcome to Radio EXOTICA FM Live Talk. This is a show dedicated strictly to talking, so I hope that you guys are in for a really cool night. I hope that you guys are ready for it. There is going to be some amazing chatting going on here. I hope that it's a good place. This is my new studio, so I want you guys to tell me how things are going, and I want you guys to tell me if the sound is good over here. Like I said, I hope that this is going to be a good place since it is my new studio. You know what? Things have been going unbelievably differently these days with Radio EXOTICA FM. For those of you who don't know, it has now been redone for a fifth time. Yep, that's right. We're updating once again, and we are going to be in it and winning in every respect that we can. One of the major things that we're doing now is focusing more on a talk show and more on talk-based radio content than an actual music show as well. You know what, though? That doesn't mean we're going to stop accepting requests for music. It just means that we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Well, you guys, we need to know right now what is on your guys' minds. It's been a long time since we last heard from you, and that is completely my fault. For those of you who do not know out there, I was very busy sorting out some personal issues with exams and with just regular work. It took me away from Radio EXOTICA, so I had to slow down a little bit. But rest assured, I will still be doing this, though it will not be every day. It will be every week. And, well, you know what? It's quite late over here to be doing a show, so we're not going to be doing a long one. We're just going to be doing a tester show from our new studio right now. One of the things that we're going to be talking about right now is surfing. And the major thing that we're going to be talking about is the surfing tour, right, which is unbelievable. It has been a phenomenal year for a South African, Geordie Smith, finishing really high up in the surf contest. Right now, though, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Geordie Smith as we head in to one of the greatest days of Geordie Smith's life. That was when he won the J-Bay Open once again, becoming an all-time record holder in the J-Bay Open. Now, we need to hear from you guys, so please let us know what you want us to talk about. We have got a lot of requests still to do, but one of them is going to be about surfing, and that is the request today. That is a personal request coming in from Anonymous, as well as someone who asked me to talk about surfing, and I myself actually wanted to talk about surfing. It has been a while since I did my last show, so excuse me if I get a few things a little bit off key, but I will be in full fighting form come next week. I have been a little bit under the weather, but you know what? That's just life. That's just the way things go. That's just the way things roll. So we're going to be talking about the surf tour right now, and it has been an amazing, phenomenal surfing year. People don't realize this really, but guys like John Florence and, of course, Geordie Smith have been phenomenal right now. You know what? Geordie Smith and John Florence have started building up quite a rivalry, so we'll have to see how that goes. Now to just move on a little bit away from surfing right now and moving towards something a little bit different. For those of you who don't know about Cape Town, it has been experiencing a severe drought right now, and this is not something to take lightly. So in Cape Town, they have restricted water. They have gone to Condition 5 restrictions, as they have been experiencing one of the worst droughts, if not the worst drought in history. Now, there is another thing that is going to be spoken about tonight, and that is with the false tornado. It was reported that there was a massive storm and a tornado that had hit the center of Cape Town in Sea Point. That tornado was proven to be false, as it came from Texas and was photoshopped in there pretty nicely quite as well. If you look on YouTube, you can see a 10-second or 11-second video of the tornado ripping through parts of the CBD of the Central Business District in Sea Point in Cape Town. Of course, that was completely fake. One of the things that seemed to happen is that it seemed to have been a tornado But of course, that was Photoshop. But another thing that was Photoshop were the hurricane speed winds. Of course, that was completely fake once again. There was no hurricane winds, but there was, however, a really, really, really strong storm. It was about 90 miles an hour winds blowing through Cape Town. It did, unfortunately, and this is quite sad to say, but it did unfortunately kill 5 people and injure a lot of people and left a lot of people in Cape Town homeless. In other news to do with South African extreme weather, there has been a fire that has raged through Knysna being near that area. Knysna is now razed to the ground, according to a report in 702 Eyewitness News. It has been a phenomenal disaster. It has been one of the worst disasters that has happened in a very, very long time. And right now, it is just absolutely amazing to see how the South African community has reacted to this and how the South African community has discussed ways in trying to help the people that are now homeless in Knysna. As Knysna, the majority of Knysna, while the fires have been put under control, the majority of Knysna has been razed to the ground by this extreme fire. This was also caused by drought, and that is something that is not to be taken lightly. Drought has affected a lot of South Africa earlier on in the year and a little bit of last year. There was a severe drought in Johannesburg. That cleared up, luckily, with heavy rains falling in Johannesburg's summer, where the rains always fall. It's an interesting condition that South Africa has been facing with the severe droughts coming in. We want to know your thoughts. We want to know exactly what you think about every single one of the natural disasters that has been happening in a country that's not really known so much for natural disasters, but we want to know your thoughts. Now, back to surfing. The world rankings as of June 14th, 2017 stands with Matt Wilkinson in first place, replacing John Florence. John Florence to 26,500 points to Matt Wilkinson's 26,750 points, a 250 point deficit there. Not much between the two surfers, whereas on the women's side of surfing, as of the 3rd of June, Tyler Wright with 36,200 points. Sally Fitzgibbons in second place. Sally, an expert surfer, been surfing for majority of her life and was former world number 1. Sally with 34,700 points. So not much of a difference there, but more than the difference between John Florence and Matt Wilkinson, respectively. Geordie Smith sitting in third place with 26,150 points. He could make a stand this season. He really believes that he could go to world number 1 if he can just win a couple opens. For example, he's going to try and again win the J-Bay Open, but he's also trying to win the Portuguese Open, which he finished in third place. It is quite amazing to see now the qualifying series as of June 18th. Jesse Mendes leads the men's qualifying series from Brazil with 16,980 points. In second place is Hiroto Ohara from Japan with 8,830 points. And then, of course, you have the women's side of things with Joanne Defay in first place from France with 10,500 points. In second place, Silvana Lima from Brazil with 9,100 points. In third place, Bronte Macaulay with 8,700 points. And of course, then Malia Manuel from Hawaii with 8,650 points in fourth. On the men's side, just to continue, is Jorgan Cousinet, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, from France with 8,810 points in third place. Iago Dora from Brazil in fourth place with 8,630. And then you have the final fifth place, Alex Ribeiro from Brazil with 8,455 points. Now, Alex Ribeiro was unbelievable last season. He did compete in a couple of the major opens in the professional tour, and it was amazing and outstanding to see just what he did when he got his opportunity. He is a young up-and-coming talent, and I believe that he's going to be one of the best, if not the best, in the future. On the other side, Joanne Defay, of course, a very, very highly sought-after youngster from France. She leads the table on 10,500 points, as said before. And then you have Silvana Lima. She competed in one of the tournaments, and it was quite amazing to see. Now, of course, this is the qualifying series. This does not mean that they are all of a sudden amateurs. This just means it's the qualifying series. Joanne Defay is in the top 5 of the world, so you cannot count her out whatsoever. Now, that's just a little bit of the surfers ranking. Of course, now we're going to just move a little bit over to the longboard rankings, as that was the shortboard rankings. You've got in the longboard rankings, surprisingly in the women's rankings, you have Chloe Kalman with 10,000 points in the lead of the longboard tour in 2017. You have Crystal Walsh in second place with 8,000 points, a 2,000 point deficit in both the men's and women's between first and second, as in the men's, Taylor Jensen from the USA with 10,000 points and Kai Salas on 8,000 points from Hawaii. Now, what's interesting to note is one of the best and probably one of the most famous surfers of all time, Kelly Slater, has stated that the 2017 tour will be his year, that the 2017 men's tour will be his final shot. He will give it everything he everything that he has in order to win. Like I said, I am a little bit rusty from not doing this, but I will be on top form. You can guarantee that. I have been a little bit sick and I have been busy with exams, so please excuse me, but I definitely will be on top form in the coming weeks. What's is interesting, back to what we were saying before, Kelly Slater, granted, he has not been on the greatest form in recent years, but he consistently maintains to be one of the best surfers in the world. I mean, back in the 90s, you're talking about a guy here who absolutely ripped through the competition, for lack of better words. Kelly Slater, of course, being a premier surfer, surfing on one of the shortest and one of the fastest boards back in the 1990s, all the way until now. Now, in the women's longboard tour, one of the major things that has been going on is the fact that funding has been increased for the women's longboard tour. So all of you guys out there and who have supported the longboarding for women, you can be happy to note that they will continue to be longboarding well into the future with some brand new funding kicked off there. Well, you know what? That has been our small little 11-minute show. Thank you guys so much for listening out there. We will have a full show coming up later on this week, or maybe possibly 2 shows this week, but we're going to cut it down to 1 a week. We apologize for the fact that it is not every day like it used to be, but thank you guys so much for listening. As always, I've been DJ Twister, you have been my fans, and this has been Radio Exotica FM Live Talk. Have a very, very good night, and as always, stay easy.